Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm. I'm the host of this podcast. I am super pleased that you're here. Thank you so much to everybody for pushing play on another episode. And if you're new, welcome. I hope that you absolutely love it here. We're celebrating this week because thanks to you, we've now published 250 episodes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, where does the time go? And I know, I was thinking to myself, how did I find 250 different things to talk about when it comes to private practice, because I don't plan out my podcasts, as you know, or maybe you don't, but what I do before I record them is I tune into my inner guidance and I ask what people need to hear today. So thank you. I also want to honour everybody who listened to the last episode on how to work as a private practice practitioner without having been vaccinated. I know it's such a sensitive topic, and it was really just my deepest honour to be able to speak to that and support everybody in navigating these difficult times that we're having at the moment. But today my higher self said, that's not true. Let me start again. Today when I was getting ready for our podcast, I was thinking to myself, what should I do? Maybe I'll do some work on self-reflection and, letting go of 2021 and da-da-da-da-da. And then I just thought, you know what? Everybody's doing that right now. And honestly, when I'm looking at all the posts that are flying around, I'm only on Facebook and a little bit of Instagram, but everybody seems to be doing that. And I just thought, I want to do something different. And so then this morning I was tuning in, and my higher self said, yep, agree, don't do that. What people might benefit from now is learning about how to create some organic traffic to their website and for their offers and for their services, and setting all of that up over the Christmas period so that they're good to go and fill their diaries over the new year. That would be more helpful. So I thought, okay, cool. So this episode is going to be quite a practical one, a little bit of the how-to. So if you like, as usual, do grab out your journal. And I want to say, I received an email from a lady called Kate during the week, and it was just so nice because she said she's got a journal, and she calls it the Private Practice with Soul journal, and she's listening to all of the episodes and she's writing down things from them and implementing them in her practice. So that was just such a joy for me to hear, because that's what I like to imagine is happening out there in the world. So yeah, thank you. I hope that you get a lot of value out of today's session. So the reason that I wanted to focus on organic traffic is because I understand many of you are just starting up. And so, we're bootstrapping, but there's also a case to be made for playing around and experimenting with different traffic pathways before you go spending money on them. So I think sharing this with you is going to be helpful no matter what stage of practice that you're at. Visibility is always a good thing. So let's get stuck into it. I will talk a little bit about social media, but then I'll talk about some non-social things too, because I understand that all of us are social people. So first off, let's look at your Facebook personal profile. I know, now don't have a panic attack. Yes, clients are going to find you on your personal profile, but here's the thing. Personal profiles get a lot more eyes on them than posting on your business page. So as a private practice coach, one of the things I hear a lot is private practice owners having a business page and they're posting on that and they're not getting any traction. I mean, you can go and have a look at mine. I've got I think it's 5,000 followers. I've got a really big email list, etc., etc. I post content on my Facebook business page, Private Practice with Soul, rarely get any engagement. Why? Because the business page, you don't need it. The only reason that you need a business page is if you're going to run Facebook ads, which I don't think you should be doing. I'll tell you why later. So I wouldn't even really, I wouldn't bother really with a Facebook business page. As I said, I don't use mine much. I just share my content onto it rather than posting from it. I don't write any special content for my business page. My clients do not find me through my business page. It's not a referral pathway for me. I have other referral pathways, so I don't invest much time in it. But if you are somebody who loves doing Facebook ads and you run them really well and you're willing to invest that money, then you absolutely need a business page, because you cannot create a Facebook ad account without a business page. So that's that. If you're a new practice, I would not go paying for ads. I would start building organic traffic, which is what we're doing today. So you do need to have a personal profile. Now, I understand some of you are going to, be panicking a little bit and thinking to yourselves, oh no, I don't want clients to find all my personal stuff. So, with my personal profile, I do use mine mostly for sharing information, funny memes, my 12 days of Christmas. So I think today's day 12. Yeah. My 12 days of Christmas went out. Sometimes I post, last week I got a new bookshelf and I posted a picture of my new bookshelf. So I just try and use my personal profile to do more of a behind the scenes personal look at, this is what the life of, private practice owner is like. This is what happens. This is, and I just be real on that. And I have for myself a little guiding principle that says, if I'm not happy for a client to see it, don't post it. Now, you might not feel overly comfortable with clients seeing what you're posting, and you might like to post pictures of your family and pictures of your children, and you don't want your clients to see that, in which case start another profile. Okay, it's easy enough to do. Get a second profile happening. You don't have to call it your business name, but definitely have your business name in there somewhere. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start to post. And there's, some tips for how to post. I think you need to know who your audience is and what they like. So I know, even with my 12 days of Christmas, I've added hundreds of people to my email list as people have been downloading. I've got loads of testimonials and reviews from people who have accessed the resources I've been giving out one a day over the last 12 days. And so I'll be able to use those in my marketing later on. People have booked calls with me, all that sort of jazz. But those posts on the surface don't get that much engagement, in terms of you don't see many thumbs up or hearts or anything like that. All the engagement happens behind the scenes. The things that people feel safe engaging with in my personal profile are things like memes. So they love anything to do with, so I put up memes on spirituality, memes on counselling. They love that. And the other thing that my audience feel very safe engaging with is when I post pictures of myself with my face, pictures of Gabe, and pictures of what I'm doing, in my private life. Whether I posted pictures of my fruit trees before I moved, the bookshelves, as I said last week. So when you are using your personal profile to build relationships, there's a way to do it. First off, you need to have what we call a post that's going to appeal, that's going to get people interested in following you. So as I said, for me, that's like stories. It's stories about my personal life. It's stories about how I've overcome obstacles. People love that. They get high engagement, lots of comments. You can go back to my Facebook profile and see if you like. And they love, as I was saying before, memes and stuff like that. So I know if I want to get new people, I want to be posting things like that. And then every now and again, I will do a promotional post. Like I auto share my podcast. So every time my podcast is published, I use a platform called Podbean. It's free for those of you who are thinking of starting a podcast, but it has this feature on it where it automatically shares your post to your profiles on your social media. So I don't know if you call it a promo post or not, but every week the cover of my podcast gets shared to my personal profile as well as to all my business pages and groups. And, it just says, this is the latest episode, da, 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 da. Now, I rarely get engagement on that, but people will send me emails after listening. So you have to balance building relationships, posts that are going to let people see the real you, with posts that let them know what you're doing. Okay, because then they can just click that link. So for me with the podcast, they can click that link and then they can come and they can get to know me by listening to a podcast episode or two on the weekend. Okay, and then they might listen to a couple more and then they're going to follow and stuff like that because we're starting to build that relationship. So for you, only post what you feel comfortable having a third party look at, having a client have a look at, but do have a mix of things. And so generally you want to have something that's just light and easy and fun. Then you want to have a little story about something you overcame, how you overcame it. And then you might want to have 1 or 2 posts a week that are a little bit more promotional. The other thing I like to do is include a call to action on all of the posts, which, was really interesting because I used to struggle with this. I used to really loathe the idea of, inviting people to do this or do that. But I've been speaking to lots of people this week. I was talking to somebody earlier this week and I was asking her, why was now the right time for you to book a call with me? And she said, well, I have been on your Facebook profile and I see that, lately you've had a call to action on everything. And you know what? I just thought, why not? I'm just going to click that link and book the call. I'm sick of sitting on the fence. I want to do something. And that was her experience. And then another lady, when I asked her why was now the right time to book a call, and she said, I find it really difficult to ask for help. I don't like putting myself in a position of having to ask for help, especially when I've asked for help before and people have made such a big thing of it and they've messed me around and it just makes me feel awful. But, when you put out the invitation, just even the word invitation felt a lot easier for me to take that step and book a call than, not calling it an invitation. So note to self, when you've got your call to actions, don't call them a call to action, but make them gentle and friendly. Think about you. Like, how do you feel asking for help versus how would you feel being invited to do something? So really be clear about how you're wording your calls to action. And the other thing that you want to do is be mindful of the call to action that you're choosing, because if you have a cold audience is someone who's new to you, they're going to be very unlikely to put themselves in a position of booking a call. Very unlikely. It's most of the people who book calls, you may not know them, but they do know you because they've been following you for 12 months. They've been listening to your podcast for 6 months. They have been, some say, I've been lurking in the shadows, Brooklyn, and I haven't been engaging in the group, but I've been watching everything and now's the time. It's a warm audience that are more likely to book a call. So have a think about, okay, what would a new person feel comfortable doing? And what's my intention? So be intentional with your call to action, okay? And the other thing that can work really, really well is to, if you have a little testimonial or a review, post it along with a little link to apply to work with you, okay? So that can be really, really helpful as well. Some of my posts are long. They tend to get more engagement than my short ones. So just play around with it and see what's going to feel right for you. So that's the first thing, looking at your personal profile. If you like, copy and paste that post from your personal profile onto your business one to keep the page fresh. The real function of a business Facebook page, apart from being able to run Facebook ads because it connects to your business account, is it gives people a chance to verify that you're a legit business. But they can also do that on Google, right? All right, so here's another, so that's way number one. Way number two for organic, free traffic for your private practice is to do Facebook Lives. But here's the thing. I want to say if you're not good at them, don't. That's harsh though, but what I mean is if you don't have, and I'm talking from my own experience, and you can go and look at my mistakes. I don't hide them. They're there. You can go and look at them. Some of my videos are so dark you can barely see me. Some of my videos are glitchy. Some of my videos don't have captions. Some of my videos I'm just rambling and waffling instead of being short and concise. Some of my videos I just don't look good, like presentation wise, So if you're going to do a Facebook Live, I think there's an absolute benefit to doing it well. It's not about being perfect, but I think you have to be mindful of a certain standard. At least brush your hair and put on a bit of lippy if you're going to jump on a Facebook Live, if that's your audience and that's going to resonate with your audience. But look presentable, and be prepared for it. Don't waffle and ramble like I used to on mine. Be really clear and be really intentional and think to yourself, right, what's the quickest way I can get this information over to my clients? And just write out 2 or 3 dot points. That's all you have to do. And then put a sticky note at the top of your computer under the little camera so it looks like you're speaking to the camera. And just speak to those 3 things and then get the heck off your Facebook Live. Just in and out. No rambling, no waffling, okay? Make sure that you have a background behind you that is consistent with your brand personality, okay? So for me, what I'll be doing shortly, because I'm renovating at the moment, as you know. So I can't do my lives now. So that's why I haven't been doing them lately. But when I've got my new desk, what will be behind me is my bookshelf. And on my bookshelf, I've got, my sticks of smoky quartz. I've got all my spiritual books. I've got, there's a moon lamp there. There's a Buddha head. There's sacred geometry. There's a little light up sign that said good vibes only. Stuff like that. Like stuff that people associate with me. So that's going to be my background. It's not distracting. But what it's doing is it's showing who I really am, right? This is my study in my home. This is who I am. It's not staged or anything like that, but the background's consistent with who I am. Like I am my brand. I am my brand personality. One of the mistakes that people often make when they're doing Facebook Lives is they have a very messy background or they have too much going on. And the problem with that is instead of listening to your message and building a relationship with your audience by giving them something useful that they can take away, what happens is they're not listening to a word you're saying. They're trying to, figure out what's going on in the background. Okay, so make sure that you've got a presentable background. Okay. One of the things I learned as a result of doing my videos on Facebook Live was people tend to watch them in their own time. Now, I used to take this really personally at the beginning. I used to think, oh, no one loves me, no one likes me, what's the point? Why do I keep doing this? But then when you go back and have a look, you see people do watch them. And I know that most of my audience prefer to not join me on the live because they're probably at work or something. I do them in the middle of the day, but they tend to watch them on the weekends or they watch them after hours. So they get watched. Don't think because you're speaking and it says 1 viewer or 2 viewers and then those 1 or 2 disappear halfway through your live that no one's watching. People are, and they're watching their own time. So don't take it personally. It's just how Facebook and life work. The other thing that I learned is that you can have a look at your stats for Facebook Lives. and it will show you the amount of time that people are watching your videos. And most people watch my videos for between 5 and 10 minutes, which apparently is a really long time, which is fantastic because that tells me that I'm giving them useful information. The average watch time is 60 seconds. So keep that in mind when you open your Facebook Live. Straight away, before you introduce yourself, just assume they know who you are perhaps, but imagine you've got 60 seconds and you want them to get something really valuable. Lead with the transformation, okay? Lead with that. And when you finish doing all of that, say, thanks for watching. My name's Dr. Brooklyn Storm. Well, say your own name, etc., etc. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe so you get notified when I do more, or, come back later and I post these videos once a week or something, whatever you want to do. And then what you also want to do is Facebook Live, when you go to publish your video, when you go to record it, you can set it up to auto-generate captions. Definitely do that because not many people listen to audio. More people will read captions. So make sure your captions are set up, and it's really easy to do. When you're getting ready to go live, you get the option to do captions. You also get the option to share your Facebook Live to other groups and places. I say don't share it to groups because you don't want to get into trouble by admin. I don't know many groups that allow you to go live. I don't allow live videos in my groups. But do check, because if you're in a big group that's relevant to what you're going to be talking about, check with admin first, see if you can go live in the group. Share your Facebook Live in there. You can share your Facebook Live to your stories, to your personal page, all over the shop, okay? When you have finished your Facebook Live, you also have the option to download it, so definitely do that. And then what I would recommend you do is go and publish it on YouTube, all right? It doesn't take long to do. You've probably got a YouTube account already, most of you. I think mine's attached to my Gmail, which I don't use. I set up Gmail years ago. I haven't used it for eons, but all the Google stuff that I do use now is connected to that for some reason. So your YouTube you'll find within your Google account usually, and yeah, you can just go there and upload your video. Make sure you've got a good description in there, put links back to your website or to your diary, and it doesn't matter where you're sharing it, always comment under your live with the link to view it, okay? Even though it's right there, but do. Why? Because social media love links. Facebook especially, because Facebook does not love your business. Facebook is all about community and connection. So if you have a link, Facebook thinks you're sharing, which it really enjoys. So a little bit of a simple structure for a Facebook Live. I wouldn't start with an introduction. I would just get straight into the transformation. So for example, I might say, hi, today I want to show you how you can fill your diary in 30 days or less. Now, straight away, people are sitting up versus, hi, thank you so much for tuning into my video today. My name is, no, people have clicked out. Okay, so lead with a transformation. If you want to, and it's a teaching video, just teach them one or two things. And then at the end, do the introduction. So that's what I do. And then, yeah, people say, should I be giving away my best stuff? And I know it's controversial. I think you have to do what feels right for you. I don't think about my stuff as the best stuff or the non-best stuff. I just share openly. I really am happy to do that. I think that the more helpful I can be, the better it is, okay? The other thing that you can do if you feel called is you can boost your live. And you can do that you can boost it to people who have engaged with your video, people who've watched past videos, people who like your page, also that. Plus you can, so that's boosting to a warm audience, plus you can boost to a cold audience. And there I would definitely be looking at boosting to influencers in your area of specialization, because we want to make sure that we're being seen by them and start building a relationship. Okay. The other thing that you can do is encourage engagement throughout your life by saying things like, if you're here joining me today, let me know where you're from, or, show me with an emoji your mood today, or the mood of your private practice, or how's your week been? Show me with your favorite GIF in the comments. Something like that. Get people feeling like you're right there with them and you can talk to them and acknowledge them by name. Hey, thanks Tom, hi from Melbourne. Yeah, how you going down there with the restrictions? Blah blah blah. How's it affecting your practice? Da 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 da. Yeah, okay, today we're going to talk about this. So getting some engagement is really good. If you're going to be boosting, I think you need to throw a chunk of cash at it in order for it to be worthwhile. I see so many private practice owners say, oh, well, I threw $20 at my boost and I got nothing, it only went to like 300 people or something like that. For boosting to be worth it, you probably need to look at about $1,000. That's the reality. Because the more you spend, the more reach it's going to get, and it becomes a numbers game. So if you're up for it, do it. I would not be boosting every video. I would do live videos, and then after 3 or 6 months, I would go back and see which ones are the most popular, and I would find the one that had been watched the most and had the most engagement, and I would boost that. So maybe just put $20 a week away in your marketing budget with the intention of once a year throwing $1,000 at a boost or something, and see how you go. And it sounds like a lot of money, but let's not get in that stuck mindset where we're thinking we're losing something. We're not. When you put out that $1,000 for your boost, what's going to happen is maybe 100,000 people are going to see your video. And how many would you need to work with to get that 1,000 back, right? It always comes back to you. But if you have a mindset of, oh, I'm not going to spend the money and, it's not going to be worth it, and then you're only doing yourself and your audience a disservice by not showing up for them. You make the money back with your traffic, with list building, with inquiry calls, and with your conversions. Okay, so when's the best time to throw money at a boost? I would say when you're about to launch a high ticket offer. I wouldn't do it for regular counseling. I would do it if you had a summit, if you were launching your coaching intake, and maybe your coaching is about $5,000 or $10,000. If this boost goes out to even 50,000 people and 5 book, you just made $50,000 from spending $1,000. So shift your mindset, get out of fear and get out of this stuck mentality of, oh, I can't spend the money in it. I'm losing. You're not losing. You're investing in getting clients for your business. You're swapping $1,000 for a $10,000 enrollment. Makes sense, right? So there are 2 ways. The other way to get organic traffic is, of course, to have, we call it a lead magnet, but a lead magnet is something that you give away to people that's useful, right? That doesn't have any fluff. It just gets straight to the point. It's going to give them a win pretty quickly, and you give it in exchange for an email address, right? Most people are happy to do that because, of course, they can unsubscribe if they're not loving your emails. Okay. Now it looks like I send a lot of emails to my list, I think, but I publish my podcast twice a week. So twice a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, my audience get an email. But other than that, I think and then they get their onboarding series. So when they join a program with me, they get a welcome email, or when they join the group, the Australian Counsellors in Private Practice Online, they have an onboarding series. And when they first join my list, there's another onboarding series. So there can be times where people do receive a few emails from me, but generally once they've moved through those onboarding processes, it's these 2 emails a week just to let them know about the podcast is out. Big deal. So what? If they aren't happy getting those, they can unsubscribe. It's really clear there on the bottom. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. So the reason that it's important to give somebody something that's useful and valuable in exchange for their email address is because you want to build that relationship. Because this is why you do it, right? This is why you're in private practice. It's all about helping people, and it's all about nurturing relationships. It's my highest joy and pleasure when I start to receive emails. So most of the time, straight after I release a podcast, within a couple of hours, emails start coming in from listeners. And they will usually be something like, oh, I needed to hear this today, or thank you for speaking to this, or something like that. And then I can reply. So we're starting conversations and we're building relationships. And I love that just for the fact that I love it. Okay, so this is why you want to do it. It's all about that connection. You're not selling to them. You're not promoting anything to them. You're simply connecting. You're allowing that. You're inviting them to respond. You're inviting them to write back. Everything. Okay. So, if you don't have a podcast and that's auto publishing, here's something else that you can do that I would suggest you do. In MailChimp or ConvertKit or Infusionsoft or whatever you're doing, I would have a welcome sequence for anybody that's downloaded your lead magnet, anybody that joins your list. And a welcome sequence is just, it can be 2 or 3 emails. Some people do more. I would just keep it really simple. The first email would be like, hey, welcome to the fam, welcome to the community, and tell them what they're going to get from being in your community, right? Other private practice owners love being here because they get discounts on this, bonuses on this. They hear before anybody else in our industry about this, right? Let them know what they're going to get, right? And then the second one, you might do a little story and include a photo of yourself with your dog or your cat or something like that. And then the third one, you might have a list of some free resources that they can grab and access, including joining your group, or if you have a group, or and drive them over to your website, because even if you have a free resource on your website, what will happen is most of the time they'll click around. You can check this for yourself. There's some free software you can get. Just Google website heat map, and that will show you exactly where people are clicking on your website and where they're spending most of their time. And most of the time people aren't reading your blog, by the way. So yeah, blogs are great for SEO, but a lot of the time people aren't reading them. People will go to your contact page, your about page, and your fees. So anyway, do drive traffic over to your website, because you're going to have a cookie banner on your website, because obviously that's the law. So you're going to have a cookie banner on your website, and when people agree to the cookies, they get to access all your content. And that cookie then communicates with Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Google and Safari and all of those sorts of search engines to serve your content up to people that tend to visit your website. So if I have 100 private practice owners visit my website and they all click the accept cookies button, what's going to happen is, if I run a Google ad, for example, the Google ad is going to say, oh, all right, then I'll send this to all the 100 people that have clicked on Brooklyn's website and their immediate circles of friends and the friends of the friends, because, this is how it all works behind the scenes. So if you don't have cookies enabled on your website, you are missing out on connecting with your audience. So definitely go and activate them, because what's the point of being in business if you're not going to help people, right? And you're only going to help people by building your audience. So there's that as well. So, and having a lead magnet, as I said, a lead magnet is just, for me, like my 12 days of Christmas have been 12 separate lead magnets. One was the ultimate private practice checklist, for example. So anyone who didn't have that, who wanted it, was able to download it. They've now joined my list. Of course, some unsubscribed, which is absolutely fine. I don't want people who don't want to be there, right? I'm not forcing anyone to read my emails, but then I had like 11 more lead magnets. But the reason for it is you want to be able to expand your email list so that you can build those connections and help people. Okay. So there are 3 organic ways plus email. Your email is the 4th way. So email is free usually. And all you have to do is find what do I want to say? Find a day of the week and a time of the week that works for you to sit down and write it. You know, I've written some very short emails that had really high engagement rates and really high click-through rates. I've written long ones and I spent a lot of time doing them that had virtually no interaction. So get to know your audience, get to look at the stats and understand the stats that your email provider gives you, because you will start to see a pattern emerging of what your audience really like to read from you and what they don't. And this helps you write better emails and improve your click-through rate. And that's important because we want people clicking through to your website or your diary or your videos or your YouTube channel and stuff like that. So there are 4 ways that don't cost you anything that you can start to get more traffic over to your website. Oh, and here's the other thing. If you are on Psychology Today, definitely go and put your link in your About section on your website back to your Psychology Today profile. Why? Well, Google likes it when you have links to other websites and you're sharing stuff. But Psychology Today, they have a team of experts whose whole and sole job it is to do amazing SEO. I mean, if you Google yourself, and you're on Psychology Today, you're going to come up as, the top person, the top listing or the second from the top listing. Their SEO is that good. So leverage that for your own website by including a link, okay? Or I would definitely include a link. I was going to say what you could also do is copy and paste the text that you put on your profile there, but I don't think that's going to work. But do copy and paste your link from Psychology Today into your About section. Something like just highlight words that say, that you're a counsellor or something. Highlight that word counsellor, insert link, copy and paste the link from Psychology Today and then press enter. And that way you'll be able to improve your Google ranking by leveraging off your Psychology Today. I know. Do you love it? Do you see what I mean? Like, it gets to be super easy. And here's a last tip for you. So tip number 5 is definitely track your numbers. Track. I don't work with people who don't track their numbers. It is a requirement. Why? Because I want you to be responsible. You can't run a business without looking at your numbers. And one of those numbers is going to be, things like your click-through rate or the number of people on your email or the number of times you post or your engagement or something like that. So you need to be aware of the numbers because that tells you how to be more impactful and, of course, more profitable. And even if profit isn't your goal, like even if you're not in private practice to, make the $1 million, if you're in private practice because you want to provide a service to people who might miss out otherwise, well, you're still in business and you still need to reach people. You still need to connect with people. And of course, you still need to turn over some money. Otherwise, it's not really a business, is it? It's more like a hobby. And that the turnover that you make, if you don't want it to be profit, that's fine. Reinvest it in upgrading your software for telehealth, or reinvest it in getting your own coaching or mentoring, or reinvest it in doing your own paid advertising if you're at that stage. Okay. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent, I think. I get so excited about this stuff, don't I? Anyway, yes, track your numbers, because it takes time. Like, I would say a good 6 months to see what's working before you can start, doing less and making tweaks and changes. But yeah, just choose one thing that's going to work for you. For me, I focus on Facebook, as you know, and my podcast. They're my two things. But it took me a lot of trial and error to land on these two. Okay, so do what works for you. If you're not a Facebook person, you don't have to be. Focus on having really fantastic SEO and content on your website. Alrighty, I hope that this was super duper helpful. When's our next episode? It's on Saturday, which is Christmas Day in Australia. How exciting. I might do it on Boxing Day though, if that's okay with you. I'd love a day off. So I will see you on Boxing Day. Have a really, 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 really beautiful Christmas. May I please ask, if you love my podcast, which I hope that you do, would you please give it a little review? That would be such a beautiful Christmas gift for me to receive. And it wouldn't cost you anything, but I would just be so appreciative of a little review. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you on Sunday. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.